What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you another movie review, this time for the new Daniel Radcliffe film, Swiss Army Man. Swiss Army Man is directed by Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert and stars Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano. It's a movie about a man played by Paul Dano who has been stranded out on an island in the Pacific Ocean for an unknown amount of time, and he's finally gotten to the end of the line. He's going to kill himself, but right as he's about to do it, this body washes up on the ocean, that body being Daniel Radcliffe. And this is an oddly flatulent body, and it also seems to have all of these other special abilities that seem to always be there to help Paul Dano when he needs it. Is it all in his head? Is this what's really happening? And will he actually be able to make it back to land, to civilization, to tell people about this amazing corpse? Now, I remember hearing about this movie when it premiered at Sundance and at Cannes, and it was getting booed. People were saying it's the dumbest movie they've ever seen. It's just about a farting corpse with stupid slap comedy, and there's nothing to it. And I have to say, I really disagree with those people. Granted, when this movie begins, that's what it starts out as. It's this very dark beginning, and then all of a sudden, you have this farting corpse that's there, and then the movie just moves forward from that to turn into what actually is an extremely heartfelt and loving story. This movie has one of the greatest opening sequences I've ever seen in a film. It's extremely cinematically beautiful and is directed so well. It took home the award for Best Direction at Sundance, and I really hope that this movie isn't just thrown to the side when it comes to award season, because I honestly think this is one of the most innovatively directed films I've ever seen, especially with the effects that they have to use for Daniel Radcliffe's character's different abilities. The way that they show them is so visceral, and it makes it so it's really hard to believe that it's not a real thing that you're watching. And along with that, the slapstick comedy is there. This movie is extremely funny. Every single thing that Daniel Radcliffe's character says is very funny. His abilities are funny. Paul Dano's interactions are very funny. And I think that all of that adds up to a movie that's honestly a very good time to see in theaters. And granted, it is a very artistic film, so some people will go to this movie and watch it and be like, I got nothing out of that, it's really dumb. And I can understand that. I saw it, and there were more people in the theater than I expected to be there when I saw this film. And for the most part, I think everyone in there actually enjoyed what they saw. This is an extremely well-written film, it's extremely well shot, but the one thing that I feel like I have to bring up about this movie is the music. The music throughout this film is so awesome, because so much of the music is just like mouth sounds that Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano's characters make, and then, well, it's not even their characters, it's just them, and then it's mixed into a song, and it sounds so cool and organic, and I really enjoyed that aspect of this film, because everything in this movie feels so organic, and it's very nice that the music even feels that way. The performances that Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe both give are absolutely amazing. They are definitely award-worthy performances. Radcliffe playing a corpse is just, it's insanely amazing, because you would think it's an extremely easy role, but then when you actually start to think about all of the little things that you would have to do, you realize how difficult it would be. And Paul Dano is the guy in this movie who's interacting with a dead body, and he is so good in this film, and I think he's slowly but surely showing himself to be one of the best talents in Hollywood right now. This movie is also heartwarming. It's a very nice story about these two characters, a man and a corpse, who have to have each other to survive in this place, and I really enjoyed it. And I think that that aspect of this movie is what really helps push this movie along, because Paul Dano's character is sort of a social outcast in this film, and I think that it's a great way of showing how being weird isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I think that that's what the real message of this film is that just be yourself. It doesn't matter who you are, there will always be people out there that will like you for you. The one thing that I didn't really care about this film was near the end, there were a solid, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes where the movie was very strange. The whole movie is a very strange concept, but near the end I felt like it sort of crossed a line where it was okay, this is just sort of weird, but it's entertaining, and then this is sort of where it's okay, now it's really strange and sort of not believable, because somehow they built it to be believable in the beginning, but now once it gets to this point, it's not. But then the very end of the film saved it for those 5 minutes where it felt very out of place. I'm gonna give Swiss Army Man an A-. Swiss Army Man was a great time. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I think it's an extremely heartwarming story, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone that likes art house films, or anyone that wants to see just an offbeat film that maybe is something they've never watched before but could get them into that genre. Because just like I said when I saw The Nice Guys, this is the kind of movie that we are losing in Hollywood. Every single day they release a new sequel or a new reboot, and it makes a bunch of money, and it tells the production companies that this is where we should be putting our money. And in those types of films, they are not necessarily bad movies, but they aren't the real artistic thing that was meant to be made in film. And I enjoy those movies just as much as the next person most of the time. But I think that we still need these movies. We need that contrast. We need the big action, reboot, sequel, superhero movie, but we also need the small, independent, well-written, well-directed film. Well guys, as always, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this review, please do like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of Swiss Army Man, share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and I hope to see you guys later.